You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
What is up, everybody? We are doing a really cool special live episode of Kickin It With Onrie, the live crowdfunding show. We got our first guest here, Mr. Kurt Zauer, and we got a couple more guests on the way, so stick around. We are going to get to it.
For years, I have traveled the world slinging my creator-owned comics at the biggest and hottest cons. Now I'm sitting down with creators who have active crowdfunding campaigns happening right now, and I'm opening the gateway so that you can connect with them and support their work. You're watching Kickin It With Onrie, the live crowdfunding show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Kickin It With Onrie, the live crowdfunding show. I'm your host, Onrie Kompan. And with me right now is Mr. Kurt Zauer. Hi. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right.
This is the first time I've ever actually had a comics creator come into my warehouse, and I want to apologize to the audience for not having any more comic booky stuff on the back wall here. But this couch is extremely comfortable, and I'd be happy to switch seats with you if you like.
I'm fine.
I'm good. No one wants to sit on my couch.
It does look comfy though.
It is extremely comfy. So, Kurt, tell us all who you are, what you do, what you got going on, all the good stuff.
Well, my name's Kurt Zauer. I'm a indie creator. My company is called KG Comics. I have a supernatural thriller that I've been writing probably since 2016. When I wrote my first.
That could be our other guest, so you keep talking. I'll be right there.
Sure thing. A black and white issue. I worked with Sajad Shaw on that, and I've been writing ever since. I'm currently on issue number 4, which is live on Kickstarter, and it just hit 101% funding today. So I am really thrilled today to finally hit that benchmark with issue number 4 on Kickstarter. And I've got another, I think, 17 days to go. So there's a lot of time for additional funding and stretch goals and that kind of thing. So I'm going to just...
Tom, can you hear me?
Yeah.
This is Kyle, Onrie's producer, and since Onrie is clearly super professional and has this all figured out, I'll interview you for a minute while he figures out how to open the door.
All right. You know what?
How did you get into comics?
Well, pardon me?
How did you get into comics?
Oh, how did I get into comics? Well, it started with, okay, your producer was on.
No, that's great.
So,
okay, listen,
cool.
I heard the question.
It started as an idea that I had. I'm a pretty avid role-playing gamer with a crew of buddies that we played since like 5th grade.
What do you guys play? Dungeons and Dragons?
We played that. We played Pathfinder and Mutants and Masterminds. It's a great hero game. Yeah, it's perfect for superheroes. And so I had these ideas for these characters, and just a bit of encouragement from them, a little prodding, and I just decided, why not turn it into a comic book? I've got ideas, and it's fun, and I was into it very much so in high school. Much more of a X-Men fan then, and now I'm a lot more into indie stuff, and so still some of the big two, some Marvel stuff. So,
what were the comics you got started out reading?
It was X-Men. It was Mutant Massacre.
Oh, okay.
It was.
What happened in the? I never actually read the Mutant Massacre.
The Mutant Massacre was the Marauders. The Marauders. It was with their first appearance, I think. It was Sabretooth. It was at that time Scalp Hunter, Vertigo, Arclight, and Riptide, and they went into the Morlock tunnels and just began slaughtering mutants.
Oh, that's crazy.
So yeah, and I remember just that made a big impression on me because that's Colossus actually killed one of them in that one. It was it was Riptide, I think, and there was another villain called Harpoon. So yeah, that was intense.
That stuff had a real big impact on you.
Yeah.
Who's the artist on that? Like, yeah.
I gotta break those out.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I always ask this to comic creators because I'm always curious to know, like, you know, when I was reading comics as a kid, I was a Spider-Man fan, straight up Spider-Man fan. You would have never thought as a kid that I'd be doing, like, you know, war comics as an adult, you know. And, you know, now I'm kind of jumping into different forays, but, like, I was kind of saw myself, like, if you were to, like, talk to me at 19 years old and ask me, like, what I wanted to do in comics, I would have said I want to write Spider-Man. But I never felt like I could really contribute that much in comics that way. So when it came to adapting your work, what about it made you feel like I need to do this, other than the fact that, like, oh, this will be fun, but, like, what was that one thing that kind of kept you going, especially, like, you know, as a comics creator, it can be tough sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great question. Really, it's just the need to tell a story. I mean, I've always loved stories in any medium, you know, TV, movies, books, comics. So I've always wanted to write and do those things, and so I felt comics was, you know, I enjoy the visual aspect of them, and you know, it's exciting. It's exciting to write a script, to have an idea, and then see pages come back from your artist.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's a great thing. And man, I got to tell you, I picked up your books from you at Wizard World Chicago, and they were fantastic. I mean, absolutely. So the artwork, the production value of everything. And I have to say, it makes total sense that you were a big tabletop RPG gamer, because like, I can see the influence in the art style a lot. And honestly, I think that's one of the most underutilized styles in comics, is like, you know, that really, you know, refined and rendered art that we see in comics, where it literally feels like it's still loose enough to the point where it's like an action comic,
right?
But it still feels rendered enough to the point where you're like, I'm reading a movie almost, you know. And I totally got that from both your books. So now let's take the conversation over to what you got going on presently. You have a Kickstarter going on, right?
Yes.
So tell us about this Kickstarter.
Yes, I did touch on it briefly. I'm at 101% funding right now.
Oh wow! Congrats,
today.
Bro.
Yes.
We're gonna get you a little higher. I think
So
I'm gonna throw you some money.
So exciting, and a huge relief, you know, to be where I am right now and still have a little time to play with. But yeah, it's issue 4. Issue 4 is it's basically complete. There's still a few pages of coloring and lettering to do, but the story is complete. The art is complete. It's my main character, Anexi, the ancient Egyptian ghost. She has completed basically the first step of her foray back into real life. She's a ghost, but she can look solid. She can move things, and she's ready to find purpose again and create a life for herself, create an identity for herself. So she's kind of gone through the first step of that with Sabanian, the demon that's kind of bound to her by an ancient curse. And now she wants to make a human connection. Now she's having a chat with a fellow student, college student friend of hers that kind of helped her with her earlier task. And she's hoping by spinning the tale of her last days in ancient Egypt will kind of get her, make a friend, basically, kind of make a human connection for her.
It's such a basic want for a character, but it's such an important one.
Yeah.
You know, I think about that even with my younger son, who doesn't have a lot of interaction with other kids. And, you know, basically I'm the friend that he wants. Like, I try and be the friend that he wants, but at the same time, I'm his dad.
Right.
So and we really take that for granted, especially with, you know, and I think it's something that a lot of people can relate to. Certainly I can myself, as somebody who, you know, moved to a new neighborhood at one point and didn't have a lot of friends, and it's just like you realize just how important that need is. So it's an interesting like insight or interesting approach to the storytelling. And I always find it that the more basic the desires are of the character, the more you can relate to them, and the more popular they tend to be. So you've taken this to different conventions, and obviously you've already funded on Kickstarter. But before we go off the Kickstarter train onto conventions and stuff, my question to you is this. Now you're 100% funded, but we all know this, guys. Anybody who's watching the show right now, you always know that as a person who's running a crowdfunding campaign, the initial goal is just the base. The real goal is going to be could be much higher, could be a little bit lower. Who knows? What are you hoping to do? What are you hoping to end the campaign with? And what are you going to do with all the extra funds you get?
Definitely. No, you're absolutely right. The goal is the bare minimum to cover printing and some of the art costs. Great art. I work with some great artists, and they got to make a living too, so they got to get paid, just like everybody else. But that overfunding helps me continue to create the next issue. And the next issue is going to be not the same title, not Spectrus and Savanian. It's going to be a new title called Ruxy Vampire, and it's set in the same universe, the same kind of supernatural world of the real world with a bunch of weird stuff thrown in.
Sure.
So and actually Mog, who is on her way right now, is going to be the interior artist for that.
That's excellent. So just so everybody has a heads up, I missed a message from Kurt before, and those of you guys who know I'm also moving right now, so it's not an excuse, but I am just totally crazy.
I hear you. No, I get it. That's fine.
Yep. All right. But anyway, yeah, they're late because of me. This is all 100% on me. This is my fault. I take the hit on this. So
nobody's perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. Certainly not me.
I got to meet your wife. She seems very nice, and I saw your kids there. And
you just caught her at a good time. You caught her at a good time.
Very nice place, and so yeah, that's cool.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm deeply honored by that. So you're working with Mog now, and Mog is an absolutely incredible artist. She's on her way here. You guys are going to get to chat with her. We've actually had Mog on Kickin It before, and we got some comments here. I'm going to check them out, and let's see. Everyone who's here. We got Cool Gamer here.
Mog has done a cover for issue number 4. Also.
Oh, that's awesome.
She did this gorgeous cover. I mean, I wish just go to the website and see it. Go to the Kickstarter. It's amazing. It's the Judgment Tarot card. She's been doing a series of tarot cards for every issue.
That's really cool because I got on Vu to do some variant covers for me for Eastern Shin, and she's also doing like a side piece for Warline, which I'm really excited about too. So I mean, they're just such a great group of talents.
Yes, yeah. An's got a cover for me as well. It's a kind of a very classic, very intense, kind of emotional cover.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got a Game of Thrones artist on your, that's insane. Yeah. So now let's get off the Kickstarter train for a minute and get onto the convention front lines. How many cons do you do a year? What has been the reception of your book at conventions? Like, give us the lowdown.
I've been doing probably last year obviously was
kind of off.
Yeah. But this year I probably have done this. I did a show just last weekend. I did Anime Midwest, and I'm doing another show this weekend. Fan Expo, you'll be there.
Actually, I won't.
Oh, you're not?
I'm going out to Capital City Comic Con in Lansing, Michigan.
Oh,
I'm being shot out of a cannon.
That's okay. All right, but I think I've done 5 or 6 conventions. Already.
Wow. Okay.
At the Motor City, Indianapolis.
You were. I saw you in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
It was.
Did you do Planet?
No. That one I couldn't get as much time off of work. take a day drive and a day back.
Sure.
So it's too much. But I did some QuadCon show and a MightyCon show in Madison. And,
Yeah, that MightyCon, that was the same weekend as QuadCon in Madison.
Yeah.
So I was in QuadCon Madison while you were in Milwaukee,
okay.
and it was a huge difference in attendance.
Oh.
It was still a good show.
Okay.
But because it was just a different feel. The MightyCon shows are just truly, like, really spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really good shows for those of you guys. So you're mainly sticking to the Midwest.
Yeah, I'm not quite at the point yet where I can travel. Take that extra time off. But I'm getting there. We'll see.
Yeah. So what do you do when you're not making comics?
I do IT. I work at a company in the suburban area in Westchester.
Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, that's a little north of here, right? Yeah, right on. Cool. Okay, so let's get into your production process. So how do you write in full script? Do you write, because I know personally as a writer, and I always ask this to other creators, there's really no one way to do it. I sometimes write just scenes and then I'll hand it over to the artist and I'll say, this scene will definitely be in the book. You can just start illustrating it. Do you work in full script or,
Yeah, Topper, my artist, he prefers full script. I have really, I've only, as far as interior art goes, I've only worked with two artists, and they've always preferred full script. So that's pretty much what I'm used to. He'll rough out pages and send them to me, and then I usually give him a thumbs up because it's real, just boxes and figures and things like that. And sometimes he combines panels in ways, and generally, it makes sense the way he's. I generally defer to the artist. Maybe we can cut down from 7 panels down to 5 here, and just do it this way. Yeah, generally works. We work really well together. So I'll get the real rough sketches, and then I'll give him the thumbs up, or I'll make some suggestions. We do it all on Google Drive. And I upload reference pics and things like that, and then he starts giving me hard pencils, and then from there I again give him thumbs up or make suggestions, things like that, and from there we get the solid pages, and then they go off to Wesley Wong.
Wesley Wong, he's a local.
Local.
I've known Wesley a very long time.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's worked for Marvel, and he's a very accomplished colorist.
Yeah, talented guy. He just did Wonder Woman Historia issue 2.
Oh, right on.
He just colored it.
Awesome. And the only reason why I'm checking my phone is to make sure our guests haven't arrived yet, and hopefully they will be here very soon. But in the meantime, why don't you have a short box here that you tagged in?
Yeah.
Why don't you show us some of the artwork inside, and if we can get a link to your Kickstarter up, that would be fantastic if we haven't already. Yeah, I told them the wrong address. I didn't tell them the wrong address. They assumed the wrong address. I didn't tell them. That's my fault.
All right.
It's my fault for not telling them.
Okay, should I just do a random grab here, or should we start with issue 1?
Yeah, whatever. Just show us some stuff.
Okay. This is issue 3. This is Topper's cover.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is the Watane Metawa, which is a term I came up with myself. It's based on Old Sauk. It's the evil owl spirit, and it's kind of a long story, but it's a nasty spirit that lives in a place called Containment Facility 4, which is a lockup for supernatural threats.
Did you want to show us some of the interior?
Oh,
Yeah. I'm just gonna run outside for a second. But go ahead and you just keep showing folks your books.
Right.
And I'm right here.
All right. Hopefully that's so. The opening of issue 3 kind of tells the story of that spirit, that evil owl spirit. Here it is being bound in place in 1914 by the indigenous Native Americans here. And then we get a kind of a brief history of how the place called Containment Facility 4 was built around the place where that spirit was bound. 1723, 1927, 41, and then in 1941 you see Sabanian being hauled into that place himself. So not too thrilled about that. And then we come back to present time, where that friend I was talking about earlier, the college buddy, her name's Cheska Villanueva. She's waiting at a gas station here for Annexi. And then we get into the ending part of the escape. Basically, Annexi, or Spectress, is performing a jailbreak. She needs to get Sabanian out of this containment facility so that she can basically enact her plan of creating a life for herself. So here we have the escape. They've taken a guard along with. Annexi, being a ghost, needs to possess people to perform certain things. When she was alive, she was a sorceress assassin for Cleopatra, so she could cast a few spells. She fought with a sword and was just a general badass. But now she's a ghost, and to cast those spells, she needs a human body to possess.
Oh, thank you.
All right, and here we are.
We got our guests here.
Okay. Hey,
Now you don't have to sit on my couch anymore and look weird.
Oh my God. This is
here we all are.
Yes.
This is Kurt in person.
All
You're
right,
actually pretty tall.
you're live right
You're
now.
pretty
Mel.
tall,
What do you
man.
got to say to the world?
Oh my God, you're I taller love than
Thank
I
you,
am.
everyone, for
Nice to meet you.
Finally.
Finally.
Statue is
I
awesome.
don't know, waiting for us, I guess, but didn't know we were going to be
Here, sit down.
No, we're live. Pretty much.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're live.
right.
We're totally on a live
So-
stream.
Lucy
If you
Lucy.
don't know, this is Onrie,
Hi.
upcoming superstar comic artist. This is Ron Park, formerly from the HBO Game of Thrones. That's her claim to fame. Doing several
No, actually, I'm okay.
comic
sit
books
down.
right now. Currently, she's assigned to Snowpaw, where she's working on issue number 2, completing that, and then pretty soon she's going to be on a new series. Can we say that?
Yes.
Yep.
Rexy the Vampire from Kurt Zauer here, KG Comics. Bob has already done 3 covers for him. Got a current Kickstarter up on Spectress and Sabanian number 4 that just got fully funded.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Thank
check
you
out
all
that
so much.
Kickstarter. You check out that Kickstarter. Support it, back it, love it, if you can. But you're also going to notice that there's a couple things that got added to it. There are 2 black and white sketches back.
Not yet.
Not
yet. I haven't had time. But
Look at this, Mel's Angels. You guys got some comments here from Dave Cerrone. Yeah, he said he supported the Kickstarter campaign,
Yep.
and there everybody was asking, "Where's Mel's Angels?" Here they are.
It's been called many things. Mel's Angels, Mel's Southern Bells, Mel's Hulu's Dancers.
We don't dance.
You guys draw. You dance with your fingers.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate having these lovely ladies as a group, as a studio. I consider myself very lucky to have them.
I have to say, you must have done something really good in your past life to be just surrounded by women all the time. And then nice women too. You know?
I agree.
There you go.
I tend to agree. You know what they say, Mel? Happy wife, happy life.
No.
Oh, yes.
They never say this. It's for me it's happy husband, happy life.
Oh,
That's
I love
right.
it. We need to get the DJ siren out.
Boy.
Yes, I gotta get it.
So, but just in case if you don't know, right? I don't just have ladies as part of our group.
Oh, Lewis.
I do have one other gentleman that is part of our group. His name is Louis Bravo. So you want to check him out. This guy's claim to fame is last year he did 1,000, over 1,000 blank sketch cover commissions. The guy is good. His stuff sells quick, and the thing is that he's really cheap. Okay, I think his prices should be like triple what they are. So get them while you can, because it ain't gonna last.
He's our dark horse.
Yeah.
You know, Mel was telling me the exact same thing about you, Onrie, and we've worked together now.
Yeah.
Well, we've worked together as well. And actually, yes, we did.
I'm just
Oh,
joking.
And actually,
I'm
I have your artwork in the other. I have everything displayed in the other room. We're just in this room because I didn't feel like moving this big bulky couch here.
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, you see, isn't that couch
gonna fall
comfortable?
asleep
I
in
have
there.
fallen asleep on that couch many a time. I will tell you. But you know, I'm just so blown away by your artwork on Boo. It's
yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
All right, so what do we got here?
Should we show
Well,
Anbu first? Or?
Yeah, we can, but
Wow, you guys, yeah.
but
Oh, man.
I know we gave you one of these before, but this is was this the color concept?
No, color is final, but we have to change them.
Oh, okay. So
No,
this
no,
is
no.
like-
This is awesome. Wow.
This is another original of a cover that we did for.
Here, let
Onrie.
me just hold this
So
up
they
for
can show
everybody.
that up. Okay.
That is beautiful. So I asked Mog to do this tribute piece of art for me for David Anthony Kraft, who passed away, my co-writer and co-creator on Yusun. Seeing this in color, the original of this is just so mind-blowing on Boo. You did such an incredible job.
That's
Small
small.
part.
Small part. Small.
I said, did I say on Boo?
Yeah.
Ah!
It's okay.
Ah!
Mog, you have my permission to punch him now.
Yes. Yeah. Kyle says you have my permission.
It's
No,
totally okay. We look Asian. Yes.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, Mom,
Worse.
don't worry.
That's
Ted
don't make it
Ted Sikora is gonna buy you dinner on my behalf, okay?
Nice. Nice.
We're all good.
But anyway, we're giving this to you.
Oh, you guys are giving this to me?
Yes,
No way.
Another one.
No freaking way.
Yes.
Oh my God, what a wonderful gift. Thank you so much, guys. Mog, come here, give me a hug.
I have to
Come
stand
here.
up. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
thank you so
Yes,
much. Mel, you
yes.
too. Come on, you got
If you don't
it.
mind,
Yeah,
I'll
yes.
sit.
All right. Thank you, guys. I'm
No
so honored. Thank you so much. And if anybody wants to buy this piece of art, it's $1 million. $1 million right now. We'll do that right here.
You know, I actually.
All the profits go to Onrie's trust fund. Uncle Onrie's trust
It's a
fund.
good cause.
All right, what else? No, but in all sincerity, this is going to get framed and hung up in the studio somewhere, probably over this wall, because we got a bare naked wall here,
Yeah,
and this is amazing.
I was actually like trying to be very careful while I was painting this to make sure that, because it seemed like he really meant a lot to you. So I wanted to make sure that it's almost kind of like a tribute, right? And if you, these white foxes, they have their own story. Like according to the Japanese belief that these white foxes are, they guard the berry only for that specific person, and it ties in with surprisingly a lot of fidelity and loyalty.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
And there's a story behind this too that I wanted to add.
Yeah.
So we did the whole samurai thing because Dak, even though Yisun Shin is about a Korean admiral who fought the Japanese, the idea was Dak always, would talk about how he planned on living forever. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. And so this is kind of like a cool tribute to that, to his legacy. And now I know the story of the foxes, and that just makes it even cooler. And in the other room, I actually have the original line work. You guys just keep giving me gifts, and I keep messing up your name, which is terrible. And I'm usually very good with names, so I'm like, I got my foot in my mouth right now, the entire thing. And Kyle's gonna punch me eventually. So
Okay, we got that back.
yes. All right. Well, let's show off some more art. What else we got here?
Well, did you wanna show
Oh
me
my
this?
God! Yes. All right.
I
I
also
actually I don't know if we should show them yet or if we should wait until
Up
they
to
unlock
you.
it on the
Yes.
Kickstarter.
Maybe.
I
yeah.
think we should. I
Okay,
want to
then
see
you
it.
see
You
it.
guys can't see this. You guys all can't see this, but I can. And this is amazing. And I've seen it. I have the finished files. I cannot wait.
But
to
you
go to
see
press
it in
release.
person now.
Oh my gosh!
How about-
Such incredible work.
It's just forbidden, art. Just
No,
flash
no,
it.
no, no. We
No,
can
no,
wait.
no, nothing
This one we
forbidden
can
here.
wait.
I'll
Okay.
just show them the back side of the page here. You guys can kind of see it.
Wow,
It looks really,
Jeez.
really great. Yeah. And you know what else we got in here?
Well, I just have my original and my prints and stuff. We were in a rush, so we grabbed what we could and to come here.
Yeah, you guys have been on the road for like 2 weeks now, right?
Yeah, and my first time touring the mainland, so it's first time in Chicago, and we got to see a bit of Was it?
We did the touristy thing. We went out to Millennium Park. We did the river walk to get out there.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back probably before we leave again. Haven't shown on everything that we want to see. We used to live in Rockford, so we kind of like know the area a little bit, and that's why we chose Chicago to spend a little extra time in.
Sure.
Outside of the Van Expo Chicago that's happening this weekend.
And you guys were just at Denver too.
Right.
How did Denver turn out for you guys?
Denver was fantastic. The people there are phenomenal. They're hungry. They want us back. They're asking us to stay in their homes. I might accept that. I might.
The food over there is really good
food
too.
It was fantastic.
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
You guys are foodies. You guys, everywhere you guys go, you find delicious food. I see pictures of you guys eating food all the time, just eating, traveling, and selling art. It's fantastic.
It's a great combination. You sell art and then you eat.
You know, Onrie, the funny story is when the offer was coming, hey, stay at my place. It wasn't to me or her, it was to him.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
Glenn.
You know, the guy who loves you.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Well, who doesn't love Mel?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be a part of Mel's Angels? Or
But Denver, I felt a lot of love. Like it was so genuine. Like they made me almost cry several times. I was like, whoa.
I can assure you guys this with all my heart that I think that Chicago is going to be a great show for you guys, and I'm so glad that you're here. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this before, where we actually get not just one, but like 3 create. Well, no, are you a creator? He's
a director.
He's a director.
I'm more of a director. I manage the group.
This is the first time we got a comic book director in the Onrie Kompan production studio.
I use that term very, very loosely. Okay?
Well, you do a lot behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and you and I have had many conversations about what you do and how you're out there really helping these creators land on their feet and find new work, get their names out there, and everything. So what's the goal for what's up, Ronald? What's the goal for Chicago? Because obviously you guys have missions and
So for Chicago, we've been planning this for months now, and we are trying to get the right pieces in there. So one of the pieces is of course Kurt. We love working with Kurt a lot, and that's why we're continuing to do so. We've got another project lined up with him. Hoping to see if we can do more, but it's a process that you're going to grow slowly. You don't want to rush into anything big. You want to be able to, get through your roughness and work things out. Then we also have Rob Maltari that's coming up as well, and that's who.
Rob's coming up, and I'm missing all you guys this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right.
I don't know. I'm missing both Chicago shows, both my local shows. I will not be in town for.
It's okay. It's for the better. You're doing.
Yes, I'm doing it for the better because I love Chicago shows. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Kurt, well, you remember Wizard World Chicago last.
And Kurt was just at that convention center this past weekend, and now he's going back.
Yeah, that's right. So how was Anime?
Anime Midwest was not bad. It started Friday and Saturday were great. Sunday was a little dead. I think just because of the holiday.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So, but yeah. No,
And I also think this year is going to be a lot different because they got a lot more star power, and we're talking comic book star power. Where you got Joe Quesada coming into town, which is a big deal. This is like his first post-Marvel show.
Mark Silvestri,
a legend in the field. Yeah,
I haven't seen him. He's starting to make the rounds because they're trying to bring his books about back online, Cyber Force, Witchblade, Darkness, and all that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. And let me just say that Mog, we're not just bringing Mog online here. We're also bringing Anvu online here because she is doing some work now with Kurt. And there's another small.
She's also working with me.
There you go. There you go. But Onrie's not going to be there this weekend.
No.
Okay, but we do have another publisher that On is working with, and Dalton. What's his last name? Dalton Thompson. New guy doing his first book. It's his dream book.
I'm doing 40 pages, black and white.
There you go.
I'm doing it all by hand. inking, drawing, and lettering by hand because we're gonna have a. Somehow I end up with books and projects that has a little bit of a unique spin to how they look, like such as Valak. When I did the Bushi Kawaso, it was all traditional, so it has that traditional.
I need you
spin.
to sign that copy.
Oh, I
yeah,
know.
it's sold already.
Yeah.
And I told the creator I'll have on Boo sign it. I was supposed to bring it to Phoenix and I forgot. Now you're here. So if we forget, this will be the biggest travesty of all time. So
I will sign.
you're now doing a lot more sequential work.
Yes.
And
I am on. Well, I have been booked for 2 more.
wow.
So
Yeah, we kind of talked about one this past weekend, so I don't know if that's part of what you're talking about.
that one and also.
Okay, so yeah,
There
so
you
like I had told you earlier, right, that she's going to come up fast, right? Because since then, right, she's done over a dozen covers already, and she's got a couple of sequential pages that's been completed and published, and she's picking up more work, right? So she's almost like a steam shovel going forward, right? So get on her now. Okay?
I agree. I couldn't and
I'm telling you, her rates are still low.
And Louis Bravo.
And Louis Bravo.
Louis,
When you
oh
guys
my
see
God.
Louis Bravo this weekend and you check out his work, you go,
He's
that guy
good.
just sold a piece this past weekend for $1,000. Okay,
wow.
right.
Yeah.
None of
That
these
is
girls
amazing.
did that.
I just pick up more
Okay.
work. That's all.
They
Hey,
sold some
you know
gold
what?
pieces, but
It's
not
hard.
for 1,000.
It's hard slinging for a grandy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I I will
Yeah.
say though, that it's great being on the ground level with you, Onrie, because I know what comics you're reading.
You are my
because
dealer.
yes, I've been your comics dealer.
Yeah, it is.
for the last
Comic is my
year,
drug.
and you've been inspired by so many different things, like Adam Hughes' work on what is it, Lady Death. Lady Death.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Arthur Hughes? Arthur Hughes?
No, I was
Arthur
giving
Saddam?
Arthur Saddam's.
Yeah.
I got
Arthur
him to
Soyden.
sign it.
Yeah.
I got him to sign. I got more stuff.
Oh
from
yeah,
him.
no, he's great.
I-
He's fantastic.
No, but a lot of the materials are picked up from the Crow.
Oh yeah, the Crows,
James
Lone
Zauer.
Wolf and Cub.
Lone Wolf and Cub. I have it. I completed.
Now
I
she had
feel so
completed her
completed.
full set.
You know what's next on my list?
What's
Swamp Thing.
Oh,
And I've
Swamp
been
Thing.
cranking out like these little like Swamp Thing stuff. And if you go to the show and you catch me at the show, you see the originals. And
They are gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
and I've been connecting with people for some reason on Swamp Thing.
You should bring the frame.
But no, I can't. That's too much to like drag out.
Okay.
But Swamp Thing. So I offered that up online. Actually, I have one guy, but he hasn't committed to it, so it's pretty much open for anyone to.
Wow.
But I tend to be doing these things on the airplane. But that
What
my
is
next
this going for?
It's 150.
$150 for this piece, guys. If you're interested, just send us a message and we'll get it. I don't know if we're allowed to sling it here on the show because this isn't a sales show, but
it isn't.
but you guys are welcome to message us or message on Boo if you're interested.
But that is something I want to collect next time.
Oh well, Kyle doesn't care what we do.
Oh,
And since he's the power and control here, you guys, if anybody's interested in that Swamp Thing piece, yeah, thank you, Kyle. Let us know, and we got you covered. And Kurt, let's bring the conversation back to you because I feel like we kind of shoved you off to the side.
Yes.
Yeah, we do want to hear
Not at
about
all,
Kurt.
because they've
This
all
is our
done
first
great.
Well,
They've all done
Kurt,
great.
so
he's-
we want to hear
he's-
about
so
him.
he's given us a chance to. He's told us about his project, and he's shown us some of the artwork in Sabanian, and he's told us about his Kickstarter goals, and we've talked about conventions. We've kind of gone across everything. But now that you have one of your collaborators in the room, is this your first time meeting each other?
Yes, actually.
And you guys are in the opposite ends of the room. How ironic is that?
That's all right. We're gonna see each other every day.
That's right. I mean, this next week we're probably going to see.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not the end. Don't worry.
And
about
don't
it.
worry, we'll be shoving food together.
Yes, that's something we're looking forward to. Yes.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah,
hey,
so
that's not
partially-
the food, it's the drinks.
Yeah.
You talk about that
That's all I'm
later.
talking. Partially what we're talking about, just in case the audience doesn't know, is that we're all going to be at Chicago Comics tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. So
That is my favorite shop in the city, and I absolutely love Chicago Comics.
That's fantastic.
It is a.
I know they've been around for a while.
Oh, they've been around for a while, but they're not only have they been here for a while, they're basically they're like a legacy of Chicago in terms of like the comic book scene. Another store I recommend you guys check out is Graham Crackers on Madison and Michigan.
Yeah.
And Challengers. You guys got to go to Challengers.
I have never been to Challengers, but I have been to Graham Crackers and Chicago Comics. I think I was there. It was like the early 90s or late 80s. Right, so that's how I know.
That was when you could get Amazing Fantasy 15 for $400.
Those were the days where I would get off the airport and just cart my comic books across the street. I think it was the Hilton Hotel that was then to get to Chicago Comic Con. That was one of the easiest cons I had to do outside of the state. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting how the scope of this particular show that you guys are doing has changed, because I love Fan Expo. I think they put on such fantastic shows. MegaCon, Denver, they put on Denver. They're handling Chicago, and I'm really happy that two of the biggest companies in convention shows are now managing the Chicago Comics shows. I'm really sad that I'm not going to be there this year, but I know you guys are going to be here representing, and I'm like super sad that I'm not going to be here to hang out with you guys, because I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of the whole. I only get to partake in the food eating for one night, and you guys just like every time I'm with you, you guys are eating delicious food. There's like all these pictures online. I mean, I'm jealous. Yeah, it's like, hey, we're hanging out in a warm part of the world right now, eating delicious food, and then we're like drawing and like doing all kinds of cool stuff. And I get to experience it for one day, and it's super hot here. So you guys came at a great time, and I consider myself to be very lucky that I'm such great company. So, Kurt. Anbu, you were going to say something.
Him.
Yes.
I pointed at him.
Okay, so Kurt, Mog is doing a series of covers for you.
Yes.
And she's also doing some sequential work
In a future book.
Okay.
The Kickstarter that's going to follow this one is it's called Ruxy Vampire. It's going to be set in the same universe. It's going to be kind of tangential to this one. You'll see. Well, I don't want to get into too many specifics, but yeah, Mog's going to do an interior art and obviously a cover too. And I've got some other cover artists lined up already, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to have that same supernatural flavor to it. Although it's going to be maybe a little lighter, a little more bizarre, I think. So it's not going to be quite as intense as Spectrus and Sabanian, but it's still going to be a good time.
Yeah,
I'll
tell you. I read when I was reading a script to Ruxy, and I was going, wow, this is really different. And then I get to the last page, and wow, it just kind of bangs you.
I mean, these books are, guys, I'm not kidding you. These books are absolutely beautiful. And they're just printed. You got a really nice, what is this, a semi-gloss on the cover?
Yes.
That's a really beautiful semi-gloss cover here. And it's, I'm assuming this is how you're going to print up your new books from the Kickstarter as well.
Yes, that's from Comic Impressions. I have a great working relationship with them, and they do excellent work. So, yeah.
So Dave Cerrone asked a really great question. Kurt, this is over to you and Mog. He wants to hear about the production process and how do you guys keep the vibe going when working from so far away? That's a great question.
I think because we're both, in a way, home buddies, it's great. The distance makes it great. No, just kidding. There's a joke, but Kurt, you say.
Oh, well, honestly, when it comes to covers, I don't have anything to worry about when I've asked Mog to do a cover because she's done some spectacular covers for me. Basically, the probably the most interesting part of it is choosing which tarot card we're going to do for that issue.
Yes.
And the first issue she did was Strength,
Yes.
first cover she did for me.
Is that
Yes.
That's
that's it?
that's
Okay,
the
this is it
first
right here, guys.
part.
And we can thank Onvu for busting this out for me. What a beautiful cover, Mog.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous. Hope you guys can
But
see
you
that.
know, to answer it like seriously, Dave
Oh.
Cerrone, he's the type where Kurt trusts the artist, so he doesn't he's not the micromanage type. So he
No.
would just give you like a loose theme. Here's what I'm thinking. He'll keep the elements, and then he will throw some elements, and then that's it. And it's up to you to decide and give me creative space to do what I think. And the tarot card idea wasn't even yours in the beginning, right? It was my proposal. Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's beautiful.
yeah, that blue one is people gravitate to the blue. Did you notice also?
I think they like all your covers.
Yeah, they do. They do like all of them, but yeah.
But yeah, so really the most we tried to land on the most meaningful card for that issue,
Mm-hmm.
and we've done really, strength was perfect. The tower, which kind of signifies the destruction.
Yeah, very bad stuff.
Very appropriate for issue 3. And this cover is the Judgment Tarot card, which is also very, very much so a big part of that issue, in that Spectress is telling the story of her transformation and her last days in ancient Egypt, and she's not telling the entire truth because she doesn't want to admit some of the things that went on. So there's a huge judgment theme to that issue. So, and the cover is just gorgeous.
You have to.
I almost sold the original.
No.
If this guy was, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, if you are in Chicago and you're gonna go to this con, you have to swing by the booth because she'll have all the original finger crafts that you can still see it before it gets sold.
Mog, what is your table number?
It is, let me just think it's CP 74.
Okay.
She'll be by Chris Enoch, which is another artist that has worked on Spectress and Savannah.
Yes.
And
Artists here.
and Tony Moy, a local.
Tony
artist.
Moy, man, he is
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
you find any of those, all three of them will be together.
The
So.
funny thing is, in Denver, I was sitting next to Tony and Chris, and then again, I find here I'm going to be sitting next
Pretty
to
much the
them.
same booth
Yeah.
again. They put them in the same.
I like
They,
that.
they just cart you guys inside a little bus and then
Yeah,
open.
like, here you go,
I guess they're like the carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So no, Kyle does not have art files to put on screen, but I can put the files here. I did not provide Kyle those screens. So yes. Yeah, okay, Kyle's even barely here. But he is here. He very much is here. Don't let him fool you. He's extremely alert. But is there any other art that we can show? I mean, obviously you guys have your portfolios here. Maybe we could see some of the stuff that
Do you
you.
have those?
I do not. That's the thing. That's why. But I'm gonna reserve that for sure.
Sure.
For sure.
Well,
You're gonna get-
Kurt, I'm going to take a question back to you now because as we're both in the line of publishing our own books and getting them out there. What would you say your goal is for Chicago Comic Con? Like, what do you want to see as what is going to be a satisfactory result for you by the end of this weekend?
Wow, new fans, to be honest, new people interested in my story. And I'm just so lucky to have and Mog, and of course there at the show, along with Chris Enoch, who's also doing a cover for me. CB Zane, I don't know if he's going to be there
I don't think so.
or
I didn't see his name.
Emarcon, but yeah, kind of my core cover artist team is going to be there, and so I really hope we can play off each other and say, hey, look, this is the cover I did, here's the story, and I can say, here's the story I did, and over there's the cover artist,
Right.
So
And we're gonna say, and you can get the books over there and pull
Yeah.
over to Kurt.
Yeah.
Okay. He's gonna have other merchandise as well, magnets, stickers,
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
and tarot cards. You still have some
Yep.
of those?
Oh yeah.
He's gonna have metal tarot cards as well.
Yep.
So he's got all the bells and whistles, right? And then the girls will have the art.
That's
So
awesome.
check
Yeah.
this out.
But you guys should pick up his book because even I love the villains. I got to do a villain cover and I like it.
I like villains
I
too.
know.
I think villains are more interesting than the heroes, if I'm
Yes.
being honest, because your hero is only as good as your villain.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think it's just a universal thing. I mean, like, and I actually think between us, that's what really kind of hurt Moon Knight was it didn't have a good villain.
Yeah.
He's just Ethan Hawke, and he's like being really nice, and he's a vegan. Like there's nothing evil about that.
Yeah.
And like you kind of empathize with him more than anything, you know, like, and I think you should be able to empathize with a good villain.
Yes, a smidgen of
Yeah,
of
like
empathy.
I can understand why he would do something so evil, but
Right.
you're clearly the mastermind who, you know, kind of foresees everything. So is Spectress and Sabanian, is that going to be an ongoing? Is it an ongoing series or is it limited?
That's my goal. The first story arc will probably end on issue 6, and then I've moved a number of villains. I've introduced a number of villains in the first story arc, and then story arc number 2, we're going to focus on one of those villains and run a story arc from there, and then we'll move on to the next. And, as long as people are still interested, they still want to buy it, I'll keep making it. Definitely.
I think you're going to be in business a long time, my friend. You're doing a lot of shows. So we were talking about, that you have done 6 conventions so far. How many more do you have lined up for the year?
Probably about 4 more. I've got. I applied for another Motor City does 2 shows a year. I'm probably going to do that one. Grand Rapids. There's another Quad Con in Madison coming up, and
We should talk before you do Grand Rapids
okay.
because I'm planning to go there too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so rather than staying in one crappy hotel, we can just stay in a crappy hotel with 2 beds. That's what Ted and I have been doing.
There we go. Okay,
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And yeah.
Well, I got stories for you guys. I seem to have the luck of the draw with bad hotels.
Crappy hotel.
But yes, yeah. But that's the joy of being a writer as opposed to an artist, because no one recognizes your talent. You have to pay your way in everywhere. Whereas an artist, you guys get to draw, and everybody sees your beautiful art, and they're like, "We'd like to roll out the red carpet for you guys." But,
Yeah.
we get the cockroaches.
Right.
They
They
roll
come
out the cockroach
They
carpet
come up
for
to a
us.
table and they say, "Oh, I love your artwork." And I'm like, I wrote this story, and then
So you're just the writer. One of my
yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
and also here's another thing too. I think that it's different being at a convention as a writer / publisher than it is being an artist, because when you're an artist, you're drawing, you got commissions. Most of the time, a lot of you guys are like kind of covered before you even get to the show, whereas you got to kind of like work. You got to get into the black one step at a time. And I've been doing this for years, so I know exactly how it is. And one thing I love doing with my buddy Ted Sequoia is sharing war stories of like our best rejections. And I had a really good one, and I've shared this before. I'll share it again. I was at Heroes Con. It's the last day of the show, and I see these 4 kids, and I'm like, not kids, but like teenagers. I'm 40 now, so when I say kids, I mean like guys who are in their 20s. And I stop them, and they come over, and I'm like, "Hey guys, can I tell you about my comic?" And they come over, and I give them the most impassioned plea of all time. It was fantastic, and they all looked at me after I gave my pitch, and they take their wallets out. They bust it out, and they show me empty wallets. I saw flies coming out, and they're like, "Sorry, bro." It was the best rejection, sir. It was like all 4 of them. I thought as soon as I saw blood out their wallets, I'm like, "I'm done. This is a done deal." And
I think they sound like they planned that ahead of time.
yeah, it
Let's all
almost
get our
feels like
wallets
that.
out.
It almost feels like. But do you ever get like that feeling though, like when you get a series of really bad rejections, and you're like, "What the heck am I doing here?" Like,
Oh yeah. Especially when I've, like you say, I've given my pitch, and I've from A to Z. I've told them about the characters, and I love ancient Egyptian history and mythology, and I got military guys in there dealing with PTSD issues. And they're like, "Oh, that's great.
Ted's
know.
favorite rejection was, "I'd rather hit the road."
Or they'll ask you, "Oh, tell me about how to do a Kickstarter." I'm like, "Oh, well, you do this, this, and this." And basically, I give them everything that I've ever done. And I'm like, "Cool, thanks." And then.
But I can see that you have iron skin. Like you seem to be able to take it very well. Because it's not easy for anyone. I've seen creators break down quite often on the front lines. I've had moments myself where I've come very close, and I'm just like, okay, it's time to go for a walk and take a break. And you seem to have it all under control, especially when we were at that Wizard World show. Man, it was like dying. It was just like a dead show all weekend. You could see that there was more tumbleweeds on the floor than there were.
Which one was this?
Wizard World Chicago.
It was
The last one?
The last one, which
Okay,
I
this
think
was, 2019.
no 2021. Yeah, it was a week
last
after
year, okay.
it was a week after New York Comic Con, and it was Wizard's last show.
Yeah, that's right.
And and as the show ended, they were playing "I Will Survive," and I'm like, "No, you won't." I'm like, "Wow, they really chose a good time to play this song."
Everyone there for that show was there to see the buff Scottish guy from Outlander. That's what they were.
Oh, that's
So
it.
I saw his picture on 1,000 different
Well,
fucking
women's
badges.
badges.
Yeah. I'm like, that's a Scottish guy that my wife watches.
All right, guys, we got 2 minutes left, and then this broadcast is ending, and we're gonna go get some food. Ronald Shepard's asking if you guys are doing Baltimore this year. I know I am. Are you guys? Anybody else going?
No.
We're
Sorry.
going San Diego after this. I'm going back to Hawaii and then come back September. Amazing Vegas. And
Awesome.
then I'm done.
I'm
for the
thinking
year.
about doing that Amazing
Yes.
Vegas show.
Yeah, you do Amazing Vegas. That would be great. I'm trying to get Kurt down there as well.
Come
We
to
already
Vegas.
have big plans.
Yeah.
for
Awesome.
Vegas. We have big plans.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're at that last minute. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys so much. We're going to have such a great time tonight. And folks, please make sure you back Kurt's wonderful campaign on Kickstarter. We will have another episode later this week, and we will see you guys next time. And to Mog and An and Kurt and Mel, I wish you guys the best of luck at Fan Expo Chicago. You guys are going to kill it. You guys are going to bring the crowds. And next year, we're going to do that show together. All right. That is the end of our show. Thank you so much for tuning in for our first live broadcast where we managed to get four creators into our shady, difficult to find location.
Yeah,
We made it work.
Really nice.
All right, guys, take care. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all